I don't even know who I am. Like, do I date myself? Like,
I'm smiling ear to ear for you right now. Here's why. I know what hell you went through. Hey, Charmaine, what's going on?
so I lost 100 pounds.
Yeah!
I don't.
How long did
I
that
don't
how
know.
long did that take you?
2.5 years. Yes, sir.
How'd you do that?
Well, it was a long process. I also have PCOS, and the rest of my family struggles with obesity. So
Okay.
it was kind of like a one-man show for a while.
How'd you do it?
It was really about sustainability. Like, what can I do for a long amount of time? And also just getting to the root of it, I think, was the biggest thing. And that's what I wanted to talk to you kind of about, because when I was addressing that root, a lot of things sprung up.
Yeah,
and
they
now
did.
I feel like I'm a totally different person, and I'm just like, I don't even know who I am. Like, do I date myself? Like,
I'm smiling ear to ear for you right now. Here's why. I know what hell you went through. And I know everyone looks at your Instagram and sees the before and afters, and it's cool. They don't see how much hell you got from family members who are supposed to love you, who you know are feeling miserable every day, and yet they want to project that onto you.
yeah.
And how lonely it was, and how cold in the mornings it was when you got up to go walking, and how hot it was in the summer. Like, I'm so proud of you right now. I'm bursting in my seat right here.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. John. That means a lot.
Here's the deal. Beyond the weight, forget the number. I want you to know that I see how hard you've worked. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. You were very motivating. I was walking to you for like hours and hours, and I would hear your voice. So, I mean, I would thank you.
Well, women have been walking away from me for years, Charmaine. That's kind of my thing.
No, I was walking with you. I swear.
So what an honor, dude. What a blessing. All right, so how can I help? What's up?
Yeah. So I wanted to get more of I feel like I have a lot of pieces in my head, like, because I feel like it's more of a psychological battle now than a physical one.
Okay.
I'm basically at the end of my journey, and like, I would love to look myself in the mirror, put my fist to my chest, and say, I love this woman.
There
but
you go.
I can't.
Why?
Because I don't know who I am.
That's not true. That's not true. That's internet-y gobbledygook. You know who you are. Why don't you believe
so
it?
many things have changed, though. I can give you some examples. Like,
rattle them off.
The first thing is, like, looking at myself in the mirror, I just, like, don't recognize myself.
Yes.
And that's, like, a cognitive thing that's really weird.
You catch yourself out of the corner of your eye, and you're like, oh, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many times via Zoom or on my phone where I look at myself and I'm like, is that me? Like,
okay.
It's very, very weird.
Yeah,
but
dude.
I think deeper than that, for me, like, I've always had this, like, script when you talk about, like, what's the undercurrent of your life. Like, I know I found out what that script is, and I know that in order to, like, overcome that, I have to have something different, but I don't know what to replace it with.
Ooh,
I always thought I was the ugly, fat friend who, like, didn't have anybody, but that's not true. I know it's not true now, and I deserve love and stuff like that. But
what's the script?
Replace that with something? Well, the script has always been like, I'm undesirable, from the people around me to friends. I'm the butt of every joke. I'm always just like this alien that has no space where I can really, like, be myself.
Okay, here's what you're
look at my weight first.
Here's what you're doing, and it's so natural and so normal, but I want to free you for a second, okay?
Okay.
What you just described is a lifetime of other voices. And it sounds like you've read my book, so you know what I'm talking about when I say other people have been dropping bricks into your backpack your whole life.
Mm.
And you've been carrying their stuff around forever. Not to mention, you carried up, when I say cultural, I mean in your family, a whole family generation, whole network of obesity. And there's no judgment there, man. That's stress. That is trying to get through life. That is finances. That is 1,000 different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, It's somehow, some way. 1/2 of America is now clinically obese.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, I'm done. And so what you've done now is you've changed everything. But you're looking for
Mm-hmm.
other people's voices to fill up what happens next. Because they've been directing every step you've taken your whole life. Eat this. Don't leave anything on your plate. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? We don't do that here. This family, you've let other
Mm-hmm.
voices carry you this far. And what you're feeling now is this terrifying freedom, which is Charmaine gets to choose what happens next. And I'm going to tell you something crazy. There's no rules.
Mm.
And that means that can be terrifying, or that can be the most wheels off, reckless, super fun. Let's have adventures. So let me ask you this question that maybe nobody's ever asked you before. Who do you want to go be?
I've never really, nobody's asked me that question before.
I know. Who do you want to
Well,
go
I
be?
know
Don't overthink
I
it.
want to,
You've been overthinking your whole life.
okay,
Don't overthink it.
don't overthink it. Someone adventurous, someone who has integrity, someone who is hardworking, someone who wants to, I don't know, try new things and meet more people. And
Okay, so that person you just described, that's the woman I'm hearing on the phone right now. 2.5 years ago, you went on a hella adventure to lose 100 pounds. You lost 2 of my daughters. Okay? So you went on an adventure. You did real hard work. You were a person of integrity. You made a goal and a commitment to yourself, and you kept it, and you kept it, and you kept it, especially when it was hard, especially when you got low, especially when you and your boyfriend, before he was your fiance, y'all got in fights. And you know the things that made you feel better in the past, but they were short term and you didn't. You know how to work hard. You know how to be a person of integrity. That's you now.
Right. And I think the thing that, to your point, that I've been reckoning with is I was an emotional eater. So when I was sad, I ate. When I was mad, I ate. When I was depressed, I ate.
When you're happy, you
But
ate.
now, when I was happy,
you
I
ate.
ate. Like,
Yeah.
everything, yeah. And then, like, because I don't go to food now I'm looking, like, at the relationships I've had, because I've always been kind of like a people pleaser, like, go with the flow. But I'm realizing I wasn't really going with the flow at all. I was just suppressing all of my emotions.
Yes.
And now it's just like this new person where it's like, or maybe it wasn't even a new person. It was just me all along.
That's right.
And that's what I'm trying to reconcile.
Well, so you were probably told all of your life what you weren't. And now you're reckoning with cognitive dissonance because you can see who you've become. Unleashed. I think you're right. I think you were in there all along. There were just layers and layers of stories and other people's trauma telling you what you could never be. So here's what this new transformation is going to cost you. Old relationships. Where people needed you to be the overweight friend because it made them feel better about their lot in life.
Mm-hmm.
People needed you to be the girl without the boyfriend because it gave them permission to make bad dating decisions. They needed you to be just like everyone else at the table because your weight loss brings like guilt and embarrassment to some people. But if you think it through, many of those relationships that felt safe and warm were predatory. They were using you. And so this transformation will cost you those relationships.
Yeah.
And those real ones, the real ones, they will laugh and scream every time they see you because they're still so proud of you. Here's the part that you got to do next. You've got to practice having adventures. Put them on the calendar. You got to put 2 new things on the calendar.
And here's the thing, I have adventure set up, but I'm scared. Like,
of course,
I'm getting married soon.
Yeah.
I've studied abroad. I've done a lot of interesting things, but it's just like, it's like, wow, this is the new me. Like, this is kind of I don't know, crazy. And I'm kind of trying to connect the dots and
You're overthinking it. Your excitement feels a lot like anxiousness.
Yeah.
Your optimism and joy and being scared, all of that is right. Just because it's scary doesn't mean it's a wrong path.
Gotcha.
Just because it's like, oh my gosh, this is me. Yep, it's you. And by the way, go on a couple of adventures and you might find you don't like one of them. That's cool. You might not like two of them. That's cool. Just don't do those anymore. That's when I go back to saying there's no more rules. You and your husband get to co-create whatever world you want to. And for a young woman who's been told her whole life, you just have to go to the corner because you're less than, you're not enough because of how you look, how you dress, the family you're in. This is wild new territory. How old are you?
Right. I'm 22, sir.
For 20 years, people have told you don't do what you're about to do. For 20 years, people told you that some man would never pick you. Are you about to marry a good man?
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Like, he's great, like, on a Excel spreadsheet, or he's great, like, nah, kind of gross, like, super.
No, he met me in the right smack dab in the middle of my journey, and he's just been so consistent. Like, the love's been so consistent, and that's another thing where I'm like, he loves me for who I am. Like, that's scary.
I know.
It doesn't matter what the outside looks like now.
So, but that's the one question. That's the one question. Now that you see all of me, do you still love me? And he looked at you and said, till the day I die.
Yeah.
What you have to practice is believing that, because nobody's ever told you that.
Right.
They've used you, and your love to them has been conditional on how you look, how you act, how you dress, what you do, what you don't do. And then you found this guy that says, no, I see you. Till death do us part, I'm in. And what you got to do is practice it. Here's what practice looks like. It might be writing him a letter until y'all get married. Once a week, once a day. Short one. It might be writing you. Dear Charmaine, I'm so proud of you. Here's who we get to be today. Tomorrow you wake up. Dear Charmaine, I'm so proud of you. Here's who we get to be today. Write a letter to 27-year-old Charmaine. I went through hell at the age of 20 so that you could have this amazing life at 27. And let her know what you're going to be doing over the next 5 years with this new ride or die, handsome pants, grody commody boy who loves you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, this is great. I was just like, I don't know where to start. I feel scared, but also really excited, and
run right through the middle of it, screaming your head off.
Right through the fire.
Right through it. And listen, you're going to mess up. You're going to fall down. People are going to be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. And you'll be like, I can do anything. And then you'll be like, yeah, I won't do that one again. Like, that's part of it. It's all good.
Right.
But it will cost you old relationships. I want you to be honest with yourself about the relationships that may have been predatory, where people needed you to be the overweight girl. People needed you to be the girl that couldn't get the boyfriend. I want you to be honest about those friends. And I want you to be equally honest about the friends who've been with you the whole way, kind of like your fiance, who knew you through this whole journey, cheered you on. They loved you before, they love you now, they'll love you after. Hold those people tight. Take them out somewhere special for dinner, and you pick up the tab and just tell them, hey, I just want y'all to know I love you. You've been my ride or dies for the last 2 years. I'm heading into Charmaine Part 3, 3.0, and who knows what that's going to look like. But I may want to go back to school. I may want to get a house. I may want to leave Memphis. I may want to. It doesn't matter what. You get to pick what happens next.